Yeah, well, thank you. So, yeah, Skillet started in 1996, which is crazy. And every time I say it, every time I say it, I think I can't possibly be that old. I don't
I know.
feel that old. It's nuts. But I'm the luckiest musician in the world. I mean, my wife is also in the band.
I know.
My wife, Corey, plays guitar. And we've been married for 27 years. And this is our 28th year for Skillet. We raised two kids on the road. My daughter just got married. She is going to be 22 very soon. My son just graduated high school. He's 19. And that just gives you a little snapshot of who I am and what I've been doing in music. I always wanted to play rock music. I wanted to sing about things that are important to me, things that I believe in. I would say, culture's changed so much in the last 30 years that, we used to get sometimes made fun of for being, quote unquote, too positive. Our music was too happy, or it was heavy, but our lyrics were too goody, they would say, or it's too spiritual, or it's too they just sound like it's too positive and they're looking for something darker.
Right.
But I always felt that music helps people. Music helps people when they're suffering in depression. It helps people who are, maybe they're going through a breakup, I don't know, or abuse at home, God forbid. Who knows? My mom died when I was almost 15 years old. She died from cancer. Music helped me through that. Music is therapeutic. And I wanted to use my music to help people and also to share my faith in God. And I thought all that was really good. I guess what changed for me going to what we're here to talk about, Rescue the Republic.
Right.
When I really started speaking out on what I would call culture was 2020. And like a lot of people, I took America for granted. I mean, I've always been slightly patriotic, I thought. And I thought America was the greatest country in the world. I love it, but I took it for granted that we would always have these liberties and that everybody agreed that those are good things and that everybody agreed you should have the right to say what you want to say. And if it hurts my feelings, who cares? Right. You can talk about my family or against my God if you want to. It's up to you. You be you and I'll do me, right? 2020 wrecked it all for me. And the last piece of information I'll say is that I've lived in Kenosha, Wisconsin for 26 years. And for those who don't know what Kenosha, Wisconsin is, the Cryon, fiery, but mostly peaceful protests. That was 3 blocks from my house. All right. So Kyle Rittenhouse, all of that. I can see that from where I live. And that changed me in a very profound way. And I just felt I've got to speak out. I've got to use my platform. If I don't, we're going to lose America. We're going to lose Western civilization. We're going to lose the pillars of this whole society that we all have the benefit from. And I need to do that. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. There are some definite signs of that. I think Skillet has been very, very blessed. We've always had people support us, even though we didn't have a lot of the, what would you call it, orthodox doors opening for us. Like as you say, you do the PR thing. Okay. Are you going to play the game? Okay. We'll play you at radio. Right. Are you going to do the so-and-so? Okay, good. We'll get you to the festival. Right. And we weren't doing those things. Do you remember the Jack Black film, School of Rock?
Yeah, of course.
It's such a great movie,
Sure.
And I don't know if you remember, but in the thing, he was telling one of the kids at his school that was, hanging out with the punks and they were all smoking cigarettes. And he told the little kid, he's like, don't hang out with those losers. That's not what rock is about. It was about a little thing called the music. And I was naive and I thought it was about music. I didn't know that if I was going to try to get this particular person to play my song, that I needed to pay them and take them out to strip clubs and all sorts of stuff that I don't do and I've no interest in doing, and I wouldn't. I'm not going to sell my soul for you to play my song. Are you kidding me? No. This is about the music for me. A lot of fans got on board with Skillet because of that a long time ago, but there is something happening now that's quite exciting when a lot of people are waking up to what's going on. Like
Right.
if I had heard you just say what you said about, I don't remember how you put it, but you're basically talking
parent
about
company running America.
Yeah, it's a great way. I've never heard anybody say it that way, but I love it.
Yeah.
I think Glenn Beck calls it 21st century fascism or something.
Right, exactly.
One
Same thing.
world global technology. I believe all of that. If I'd heard you say it 7 years ago,
Right.
I would have been like, oh, this Mel K person's a fanatic. What's wrong with her? She's crazy. Well, that's all true. I mean, you can't deny it at this point. A lot of people are seeing it. And so now they're beginning to say, okay, how can I support artists like that? Can I watch films from people like that? Can I watch whatever they have? Can I watch the podcast? Can I buy the music? And that's why it's so important, like that you have me on your show, which I thank you so much. We got to get Skillet and bands like that. We got to get it out to people so they know there are some bands on your side, and we are speaking against the perversion in Hollywood, the fact that they are coming after your kids, the entertainment industry.
Yes.
They are trying to pervert your kids. That is a fact. They are doing that. We're speaking against that, and we don't have to agree with each other about everything. And I think that's kind of the beauty, as you said, of America, was in the way it's set up. In other words, this should be a big tent. It should be a very big tent with a little bit of feel of libertarian views where I'm going like, I don't know you, Mel. I don't know exactly what you do with your spare time. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I believe you have the right to do it, within these guardrails, and you feel the same way with me. There are a lot of people that are waking up to that. It's been very interesting seeing the Joe Rogan crowd.
Yeah.
You just seen it in real time. The Russell Brand crowd. You saw it in real time as people started going, well, maybe, like I remember in 2021, we were going on tour, and all of a sudden, a lot of the venues we were playing let us know, hey, these are vaccine mandated shows. Right. And I said, we're not doing vaccine mandated shows. Absolutely not. And so I just did a social media post on my Skillet. I said, look, I don't care if you get the vaccine or not. That's your business. I could care less. Right. We are canceling these shows because I am not doing a vaccine mandated shows. That's against my principles. And I just thought everybody would be like, awesome. People, I'm unfollowing you. You're trying to kill people. I didn't know Skillet hated people. And so we're living in a time where people have gone delusional, but one by one, that's why I like what you said about your book. One by one,
yes,
people, you can see the lights turn on in their eyes. So we got a big job to do. And I think the truth tellers are doing it, and there's a price to pay, but there is an army of patriots, an army of people that probably disagree on lots of stuff, but we believe in fundamentals of American liberty and fundamentals of Western civilization, and we're coming together, and it is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I really couldn't agree more. I'm so very excited to be a part of the event. And I think one of the reasons is because it actually is nonpartisan.
Yeah.
And I am experiencing that in my friendship. So I'm conservative, and I love America. I'm not just conservative, I'm a Christian as well, and I'm always very open about that. Most of the people that I spend my life with are not conservative and are not Christian. I play in a rock band. We tour with metal bands all the way around the world. We're on tour right now with some good friends of ours called Seether. And but most of the people I tour with don't agree with me about politics or religion in general. But what I'm finding is that no matter how much they say that they some of them are self-described progressives, but they're the ones saying to me, yeah, but what I'm seeing happen in America is way too progressive for me. And that's what they say to me. And I go, yeah, why do you think that is? And we start talking. And as they talk, I go, you're not actually progressive. You're more like a liberal to 15 years ago. You think you're progressive, but you're really not. You sound to me like Bill Clinton, man. And now what we're finding out is that there's a huge disparity between Bill Clinton in the 90s and the modern, what we're seeing in the modern progressive left. So What I like about this event is that it's not a bunch of, I mean, look, I'm conservative, so I'm on the right, but it's not just a bunch of like right wingers. It's like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. I think me and RFK would probably disagree about a handful of important things. You know what I mean? But I love him. I love that he gets me thinking, and I go, fair enough. That's pretty smart. You know, we can join forces. I think that's what I like about it, because I'm not going to do some partisan event. And what we're saying is this: lowest common denominator. Can we agree that everybody has the right to speak their mind? Can we agree that these social media platforms should not be able to go and willy-nilly say, no, the Hunter Biden laptop isn't real, it's fake news, and then start punishing people for, actually, I just saw a clip of Hillary Clinton in the last 5 days alluding to saying that maybe we need to take legal action against people who post things like that, if I understood her words correctly.
Yes, you did.
Right? That's insane. Oh, I totally agree. You know what? I said that on my podcast about a year ago. I said, people keep saying to me, it's so polarizing on the right and left. And so I said, look, it's not right and left.
Right.
It's people who think that the foundation of America and the West is worth preserving, and people that think that we need to destroy it, root and branch, and build something new, which is, as you said earlier, the whole parent company thing, which I totally agree with. It's do you believe in these things? So that, and also Skillet has a brand new record coming out. Yeah. It's called Revolution. I think that we are like the American revolutionaries. Now, we are not trying to tear something down. We're trying to preserve it. But the reason we're like the revolutionaries is because we're the ones that like freedom. And that is a big tent. It's people on the right. It's the people on the left. It's people that say they're kind of center left. And that's why I'm so glad to be a part of this thing. And so one-on-one, when I have these conversations with friends, they're like, well, yeah, but I don't think blah, blah, blah. And I go, okay, you're more on my side than you think you are. You need to come to the big tent, because otherwise this is going to get bad. Can I go back to something you said a little while ago, if you don't mind, Mel?
Of course.
You had mentioned about that they're doing things that are bad for us. And I honestly think this is a spiritual thing. So I'm just letting people know I'm about to proselytize. Get ready for proselytizing, because it's what I believe. I believe it's because whether they know it or not, I'm not saying that they know it and they're aware of it. Whether they know it or not, they don't love life.
Right.
They love death. They wanted to keep you in your house. I think they'd be happy to keep you in your house forever.
Me too.
Get your fake food delivered to your house with your fake friends on Zoom, with your fake news propaganda coming from the state or coming from whoever those people in charge are.
Right.
Living a fake life, almost like a Matrix life. They don't care if you get fat and diabetes and you can't even get up off the couch. They don't care, because they don't love life. They don't care that it's causing depression in young people. Did you see the skyrocketing suicide and depression? Young kids getting even more medicated.
Unbelievable.
While they're sitting at home. What kind of person would want your kids to literally stay in your house forever, for years at a time? These are people that don't love life. And so if it works out poorly, they don't care, because they're not going to obey their own rules. They want to recreate society in their own image because they think they are God. Right. So it is a spiritual thing. And I know that sounds a little preachy, but one last thing, because I'm kind of quite annoyed with Christians who don't get this. I don't know why Christians don't. I always tell my fellow Christians, you should be getting this more than anybody. Why are you so blind to this? The Bible is full of the Old Testament and New Testament. Talks about the beast. A beast comes down from the east. A beast rises out of and for 2,000 years, most of historical Christianity has always said that when the Bible refers to a beast, it is talking about an overreaching government, either a dictator or some sort of like massive state that is going to enslave you. Why? Because the devil wants to enslave you, wants your life to be terrible. And the Bible says that we are being righteous when we stand against the beast. Why don't Christians wake up and realize you got to stand against the beast? We're not talking about violence. We're not talking about military. We're talking about standing up for the values that give us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yeah, it's really interesting because I think that if you want to talk about actual tolerance, meaning it's so hard to use words these days.
I know.
Tolerance as it actually means, not as I always hear it on the progressive left.
Newspeak.
Exactly. Actual, I can tolerate you even though I disagree with you. That is actually happening far more on our side, as proven by the things we've said. We're doing the big Big Ten events with people that we go, well, I think we disagree about tons and tons of things. I think that what you're seeing, yes, people are scared to death of getting canceled. They're going to lose their job. They're like, I've been working here for 20 years, 25 years. I've got little kids. And now I have to say A, B, or C, or conform to A, B, or C, or I might lose my job. And then if they find out that I'm unwilling to, and I don't even know what that thing is, fill in the blank, unwilling to say or do. A lot of it is happening actually on more of the kind of gender stuff. I know lots of people like that that are afraid they're going to lose their job. Well, they don't know what to do. What you're actually finding is that's because that movement is not actually tolerant. They are totalitarian,
right.
And they are going to force you to say something that you do not believe. Whereas on our side, I'm saying, hey, if you believe that, me and you can still be friends. I disagree with you, and I'm unwilling to say it, and I don't think we should restructure the entire society based on your feelings. But we can still be friends. Maybe we can find a way to live together. So I think one of the good things happening, you mentioned the whole like statue of the beast in the UN. Some of this is that what happens is that mankind is arrogant. And as mankind, as his hatred is growing and his rule over others is growing, he gets super arrogant and he gets too confident. And then he starts to just say the quiet parts out loud, like, why don't we just make a statue of the beast? And for a while they get away with it because people aren't really paying attention.
Right.
And they do. And it is true that if somebody's watching your show and you say, they have a statue of the beast at the UN, they know that most people will be like, oh my gosh, she's such a conspiracy theorist. There's no way they really have a statue there. That can only last for so long until people start actually seeing it on their own. I mean, I remember when I started explaining to my friends in 2020, actually it's 2019 for this, I was saying, you don't understand. They want to teach your kids in kindergarten and first grade that your son can be a girl. I didn't have a single friend that believed me. They're just like, John, you're becoming a kook. And no matter how much material I showed them, how many receipts I gave them, no matter how many books I gave them, they just laughed at me. And in fact, I saw a similar clip. Have you seen that clip from 2019? I think it was 2019, I believe. It was a Bill Maher show, Dennis Prager show.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen that clip?
Yeah.
And it's funny because Bill Maher is been half red-pilled by now.
I know now.
Right? But this is in 2019, and Dennis Prager was saying, I'm sorry, men cannot have periods. Bill Maher's making fun of Dennis Prager, saying, when did you become a conspiracy theorist? And Dennis Prager saying, this is all over the internet. This is what Harvard has, and nobody believe him. What's happening is that man gets so prideful, so overconfident, he finally goes too far. And then all the normies go, what the crap is going on? You're teaching my kids what? And then all of like the patriots, go down to the school board and they start freaking out. We're in that moment now where people are waking up because they're going too far. So we got to keep shedding light on what's going on. We got to not be afraid of being canceled because that's all they're banking on. And it is true. It has an effect. There's no question. When I came out and said what I said, radio stations stopped playing me.
I know.
I started losing tours, this and this and this. But then something else happened. A lot of people started saying, I want to support Skillet because they stand for what I stand for and no one's doing it. Then you have the influx of support, and then you meet people at these shows. They come up to you crying and they're like,
I know it.
I had nothing to listen to but you. So you got to keep doing what you're doing. We all need to keep doing what we're doing, one person at a time. Families, parents, school teachers, all of us have got to do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I did try to do that in my book that you referred to, and if people are interested in that, you can get it on Amazon. Wimpy, Weak, and Woke, it's called. Also tried to do it on our new record. Skillet has a new record coming out. Want to encourage people, please go support it. For all the reasons we've already said all this time, we do need the support because we're not getting some of the more traditional things that we used to get because of the cancellation. But I don't regret it at all. And so you can go to skillet.com, check out the new music. But the first song we released speaks to exactly what you're saying. I want people to be empowered. I want people to find their voice. And the first song we released is called Unpopular. And that's why I wrote it, because I'm going, wait a minute, the world has lost its mind. And if I'm crazy because I don't want to sit in my house for years at a time because of COVID, and if I'm completely nuts because I'm a healthy young guy, I don't need this vaccine, I've done the research, and I'm going to lose my job because I'm not getting it? Are you serious? You know, if I'm crazy because I don't want my kindergartner learning radical gender theory at school, I don't want these teachers talking to my kids about sex. Leave my kids alone. If I'm crazy because I don't want to watch the nasty perverted crap that Hollywood's putting out, if I'm crazy, then I don't want to be popular. I want to be unpopular. It's sort of like taking the power back from these people. Say, you don't have any power over me, Jack. I'm taking that power back, and I'm finding my voice again, because there's nothing that you can do to me to hurt me. I'm the master of my future here, not you. And I want people to feel that when they're listening to the record and be like, I don't have to take this. You know, there was a great book that came out a couple of years ago called Live Not by Lies. Right. And it was called that. It was based on a quote from Alexander, I can never say Solzhenitsyn.
I can't say his last name either, but I know.
Solzhenitsyn, who of course wrote the Gulag Archipelago, which is like one of the best books I ever read. But there's a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn saying, like, okay, basically what he's saying is this: in the middle of this tyranny. Now, this is somebody who was in Soviet Russia in the gulags, okay?
Right.
In the middle of this tyranny, while everybody else is bowing down to the regime and you think that you have no power left, commit yourself to this one thing: I will not live by lies. I will not take part in the lie. And that's what I saw people doing in 2020 and 2021. And when you see somebody say no, man, does that feel, it's like that, isn't it? When you see somebody go on and say, no, I'm not going to live by your lies. I think that's why so many people like Tucker Carlson, for instance, you know? Yeah. Remember when that happened? It was like, oh my gosh, somebody in the media that has a massive platform is kind of like, no, we're not going to do that. RFK. All of a sudden, these people, even Joe Rogan, if you had told me 5 years ago that I would be loving so much of what Joe Rogan's saying, I don't know if I would have believed it. Right. I mean, I always thought it was funny and entertaining. But as somebody that's standing up for truth, what I had believed, I don't know if I would have believed that or not. So I hope that people listen to the new Skillet music. As I said, it's called Revolution. I hope it makes them feel that way. They can find their voice. There's a song on the record as well called All That Matters. Wow. And I wrote that a little bit about my experience, you know, living in Kenosha, Wisconsin. 3 blocks from my house is where Kyle Rittenhouse shot people. That BLM is marching by my house. There are threats. They're going to burn houses down. They burned down the downtown area. Right. I can see it from my house, right? And I wrote about that, and one of the lines in the song says, A kid arrested in the town, he read the verses too loud. But burn the cities down, celebs will bail you out. Where'd we go wrong? I can't make sense of this. That's a very real, I'm watching this with my eyes. You're seeing people get arrested for what? People getting kicked off of social media for what? People getting arrested for a meme like the dude that made the joke about I can't remember the election with Clinton and whatnot. You're seeing people being arrested at pro-life events. You're seeing the weirdest stuff, not to mention all of the lawfare about former President Trump. You're seeing this insanity, but they're burning my city down. They're threatening my family. And I wrote songs about that because it's personal to me. So I hope that it empowers people when they listen to it.